In the previous culture, this was the time when the harvesters would be tilling the soil in preparation for the coming harvest. Season changes are important. They're intentional. And while we may not feel the seasons as intentionally as we did back when agriculture was a family affair, or let's be honest, because in Texas we only really get 2 out of the 4 seasons, I would argue that God is very intentional about the seasons of life. For everything there is a season, a time to till and a time to harvest, a time of abundance and a time of scarcity, a time to celebrate and a time to practice temperance again. And God intentionally gives us these ebbs and flows of the seasons of the world and in our life so that we would feel the change, that we would notice that God is doing something new among us. So in times of great abundance, we would celebrate God. And in times of scarcity, we would be reminded of our need to trust in Him again. Back in the agricultural society, this was the time when the tillers of the harvest would do their part and then sit back and wait for the harvest. This also can be an anxious time. A time of wondering if the harvest is going to be sufficient. Like, did the rainy season rain enough that we will have a harvest that will see us through the long winter and into spring again? Is there going to be enough this time? Because once the harvesters do their work, they're forced to rely on God for the harvest. And while we're not so much agriculturally minded anymore, we do have a sense of global economics. We do know that wars on one side of the world affect how things are going on in America today. We can also feel that sense of anxiety in a time of scarcity and ask ourselves that question: is there going to be enough this time? Our credit card bills start to come in, and we're reminded about the cost of those trips that we took over the summer. Our kids go back to school and all the incidental costs that seem to add up with that, and we start to watch our bank account closer and closer and maybe start wondering again, is there going to be enough? What if there's not enough? Some of us know all too well and have gone through stages of life where you're just paycheck to paycheck. And it seems like we are always asking the question, God, is there going to be enough? You see, how we walk through the various seasons of life matter. And it affects our walk with God.